All right. Welcome to the 10:45 session of Hall 1. Next up, please welcome Nadia Jiang. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. Nadia Jiang for the talk title Ant Group's 3+ years of OSPO, which is the Open Source Program Office, OSPO's journey to the global stage. Please welcome Nadia. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Today my talk is about Ant Group's 3 years OSPO journey to the global stage. And before starting my today's talk, please allow me to introduce myself. As you can see, I'm Nadia, and I'm now the Head of Open Source Growth and Internationalization at Ant Group. But in most situations, I prefer to introduce my community roles instead of my day jobs. Well, I'm the member of Apache Software Foundation. I'm the PMC member of Apache Answer, open source Q&A community tools. And before I joined Ant Group, I was a co-founder and COO of SigmaFault. That is China's largest developer Q&A community, just like the Stack Overflow. Yeah, and additionally, I contribute to many non-profit open source organizations in China, including serving as a board chair of Kaiyuan She, China Open Source Alliance. And I'm also the organizer of many local open source events. For example, the Community Over Code Asia, Dev Together, DevRel Summit, OSPO Summit, or something like that. Okay, let's start. When talking about Ant Group, I'd like to know how many of you have heard of this company before. Please raise your hand. Have you ever heard about that? Okay, many of you have heard of that. Actually, at last year's FOSSASIA summit in Vietnam, we asked the same question, but significantly fewer people know about Ant Group. And I guess that might be because in Thailand, many shopping malls and stores accept Alipay as a payment method. Yes, and the Ant Group is a company behind Alipay. And there is also an official introduction of my company is that we are a fintech company with over 25,000 employees. And we hope that everyone can enjoy inclusive and green financial services. We hope every small and macro enterprise can have equal development opportunities. And through our open collaboration with partners, everyone can access digital life services with ease. But why would a fintech company engage in open source? I think we can start by talking about the strategy of Ant Group. As China's leading fintech platform, Ant Group announced its ESG strategy for 2030 in June 2022, clearly integrating green and low-carbon development, digital inclusion, technological innovation, and an open ecosystem into its key corporate agenda. Among these, the open ecosystem refers to enabling a wide range of industry partners through technology openness and resource sharing. This allows more enterprises and individuals to access Ant's core technological capabilities and innovate together. And from our perspective, trust is especially important in the field of fintech. From the day we started building payment tools, we have been working to create trust between online sellers and buyers. And trust is the foundation of Ant Group's business, and openness is a technological foundation of trust. And that's why we think that openness is very important. And in 2022, following the release of our company's ESG strategy, our CTO emphasized our emphasized on multiple occasions that open source is a core technology strategy of Ant Group. An open and collaborative technology ecosystem is fundamental to the long-term sustainability of Ant's business and technology. Here is why open source matters to us. First, you can see that open source is an innovative collaboration methodology, especially for infra technologies. Open source is a critical pathway to ensuring continuously innovate, which would prevent us from choosing the dark side and allows joint and collaborative technical advancements. And second, open source is a methodology for building trust and promote technical craftsmanship. Open sourcing infrastructure projects not only brings trust and enhance safety to the technologies, but also a demonstration of the technical social responsibilities of Ant Group. And the third one is that we think open source is a go-to-market methodology to build commercially successful software. Open source acts as a powerful platform for nurturing developer communities, cultivating potential customers, and driving the prosperity of technology products. Open source software works well with business models like freemium or open core. A project community feed project is a catalyzed foundation for potential PMF technical product. And based on our strategy, Ant Group established an OSPO, the Open Source Program Office, and several virtual working groups in 2021 to initiate its early open source governance. And in 2022, open source became Ant's core technology strategy. Our team began to engage more deeply in several open source projects, primarily helping to support top-tier technical projects, for example, Ocean Base and Secret Flow. And in 2023, with the open source strategy becoming more defined, we started to build structured, scalable support for all projects, develop branding activities and tailor programs, and connect and grow with the local ecosystem. And since last year, our team has evolved from an OSPO-style support team to a more aggressive growth team with clearer objectives. And we mainly focus on three aspects. The first one is focusing on key ecosystem projects and talent growth. We prioritized ecosystem critical projects and focused on cultivating talent to ensure sustainable community development. And the second one is that we dive deep into dev experience tooling and developer experience, and to better support project communities and provide developers with an enhanced experience. We dove deep into developer tooling and developer experience. And the third one is internationalization strategy. Starting last year, we began to connect and grow with global ecosystems to strengthen our collaboration and influence at a global stage. And so far, we have achieved some significant milestones in our open source journey. For now, our group currently maintains over 2,000 repositories, and we are proud to have over 11,000 open source contributors. And the total number of stars on GitHub across all our open source projects has surpassed 534,000. And this is, and in the China Open Source Annual Report released earlier this year by Kaiyuan She, we can see the enterprise open source rankings. You can see that on this graph based on OpenRank. And Ant Group is ranked 13th globally among tech companies and ranked the third among Chinese enterprises. This ranking doesn't solely rely on metrics like the number of repositories or stars on GitHub. Instead, it evaluates a company's open source influence through multiple aspects. And it's worth noting that Ant Group is almost the only one list here whose core business is not primarily focused on cloud computing or selling B2B softwares. And what open source projects have we brought to the community? You can see that Ant Group has open sourced a wide range of projects that have undergone rigorous testing in massive data scenarios. And these projects represent core foundational technologies in areas like databases, cloud native, privacy computing, and graph computing. And from a technical perspective, our open source efforts are focused on four main key areas. That is the human computer interaction, artificial intelligence, distributed computing, and trust native security. And in each of these areas, we have some key or flagship projects. For example, in the area of human-computer interaction, we have the famous open source projects called Ant. It is a React UI library and enterprise class UI design language. It has gained a lot of popularity with over 93,000 stars on GitHub. And in the area of artificial intelligence, we have the CodeFuse, a large code model tailored for developers, enhancing programming efficiency. And we have the DBGPT, a very popular project in the community that integrates AI with database management. And DR Rover, currently incubating in the LFAI and Data Foundation. DR Rover focuses on distributed AI training and resource optimization. And in the area of distributed computing, we have OceanBase, a financial-grade distributed database designed to meet the demands of high-performance financial system. And the Kata Containers, a top-level project in the Open Infra Foundation, providing lightweight and secure container solutions. And also the Apache Fury and Apache HorrorDB, both are currently incubating in the Apache Software Foundation, focusing on next-generation distributed systems and databases. And in the area of trust-native security, we have the Secretflow, a privacy preserving computing framework aimed at enabling secure data collaboration across different organizations. And these projects not only reflect Ant Group's commitment to open source community, but also contribute to advancing the industry in critical technological domains. And in addition to understand Ant Group's open source projects by different technical domains, they can also be viewed from different open source strategic perspectives. Overall, our projects fall into two different categories. The first one is that the first category includes projects such as OceanBase and Secretflow, which are the group's strategic open source initiatives and explorations into digital technology business. These projects have both open source and commercial versions aiming to explore commercialization opportunities. And the other category consists of projects like Design, V, Galaxy, and many projects which primarily stem from internal technology overflow. While our engineers have successfully met internal demands and their technologies have achieved high satisfaction levels within the organization, they enjoy to open source their work in their spare time to allow more people to learn about and use it. This not only enables engineers to realize their personal value, but also reflects our company's contribution to the social value. Here are some examples. And this is a project called Galaxy. It is a powerful Web 3D engine with online editor. It is a very good example. In addition to some basic payment functions, Alipay also offers many interesting interactive scenarios. For example, you can adopt a virtual pet in Alipay, and by feeding it daily, you can earn some points to exchange for real-world rewards such as fruits and eggs. And another example is ant forest. When you engage in low-carbon activities such as walking a certain number of steps or using e-payments, you can collect energy in the ant forest. Once you've accumulated enough energy, an ant group will plant a real tree for you in the deserts of China. And all these engaging features require Web 3D support, and Galaxy provides exactly this capability. And you can scan this QR code to learn more about this project. And another example is Ant Design. It is perhaps the most popular enterprise-class UI design language and React UI library in the world, with over 93,000 stars on GitHub. This project was developed by our front-end team, and their vision is very simple. It's that to help designers and developers to build beautiful products more flexibly and work with happiness. And you are welcome to scan this QR code to learn more about this project. Our group has plenty of projects like this. In fact, most of our open source projects come from bottom-up contributions by our developers. Unlike teams focused on commercialization, these groups are usually made up entirely of developers with no dedicated operations or growth specialist. So our team support a lot to them. We've recently built an open source growth engine to give them the help they need. Yes, and that is the open source software growth core engine. The engine is all about helping open source projects thrive from start to finish. It begins from the strategic planning. Understanding the tech landscape, spotting the best opportunities, and coming up with a clear value position using data-driven insights. And the next comes governance, where we focus on setting up the right organization, processes, and principles, as well as tackling compliance, legal, and security considerations. And we also invest in education and talent development to ensure everyone is on the same page. And on the developer experience design side, we create helpful SOPs, checklists, and reference designs, plus detailed technical roadmaps and workflows. We also organize community engagement programs to keep developers involved and excited. And meanwhile, developer experience infrastructure and tooling gives us the essential compliance and security frameworks, speeds up development with data-driven tools, and provides effective community management resources. And the last one is branding and ecosystem. We host events, collaborate with community members, and manage developer engagement to spread the word and build a vibrant community around open source projects. And the following slides show what we, the open source growth engine, have done in the last few years. And this is as part of our work related to the governance and talent growth. We restarted the Ant hackathon within our company to encourage innovations. And this is as part of our developer experience infra and tooling work. We built some interesting tools for the open source community. And the first one is that we use the XLab's open source project, OpenDigger, to create Ant Group's open source dashboard to help the projects visualize and monitor their community data in real time. And the second one is that we open sourced a tool called PeterCat, which allows you to create intelligent Q&A bots for your GitHub repositories. And the third one is based on our project called ToGraph. We built OSGraph, a tool that provides visual insights into developer behavior and community ecosystem. And all these infra and tools are designed to help projects build stronger communities. Since the projects are fully open source, we hope to contribute back to the community and collaborate with everyone to explore better community practices together. So you can learn more about the open source tools here. And to help our projects connect and grow with the global ecosystem, we have worked closely with open source foundations global-wide. We are a gold member of the CNCF, where we incubating Dragonfly and sandboxing KCL and Cushion Stack. We also joined LFAI and Data as a general member, contributing our project's DR rover in the sandbox. And recently, we stepped into Finos to explore new fintech verticals and research collaborations. And as a general member of the CCC, we host Oculum. And over at the Open Infra Foundation, we maintained a platinum membership with Kata Containers recognized as a top-level project. And finally, our presence in the Apache Software Foundation grew from 0 to 3 projects, Apache HorrorDB, Apache Fury, and Apache Sita last year, showing our commitment to open source engineering and culture. And by teaming up with these foundations, we are aiming to connect and grow Ant Group's projects on a global scale, sharing knowledge and building a thriving open source community. And in addition to working closely with the foundations, we also maintain strong relationships with many open source organizations. For example, today we are here at the FOSSASIA Summit. I've been collaborating with Hong and Mario for years, actually, even before I joined Ant Group, back when I was at Sigma Fort. We are already a community partner of FOSSASIA. And today, we listen Open UK CEO's Amanda's talk. I've started working with Open UK since 2023, and I highly encourage everyone to attend their conference, State of OpenCon. It's a fantastic opportunity to foster more global community collaborations. And here are some pictures of our team participating in international open source events. As I mentioned during my self-introduction, my team and I are actively organizing a variety of community events in China, and we also participated in many global events. And first picture is at the Community over Code Asia, and the second one is the Open Source Congress in Beijing, and the third one is the KubeCon in Hong Kong. And KubeCon in Hong Kong. And this is this year's first time in Brussels. And the last picture is this year's State of OpenCon in London. And as we also organize many events in China, such as China Open Source Conference, Inclusion Conference, OSPO Summit, Dev Together, DevRel Summit, and Community over Code Asia. We also warmly invite everyone to submit proposals and share your insights as a speaker at our events. Over the past 3 years, thanks to the joint efforts of our team and our projects, we've seen more and more open source projects grow from ant-led initiatives into true community-driven projects. And looking ahead, we aim to bring even more projects back to the community. To better support these efforts, we have built an internal open source incubator last year, inspired by the incubation processes of the Linux Foundation and the Apache Software Foundation. And this image illustrates the development process of projects within the Ant open source incubator. It covers stages from project review, entering sandbox, moving to incubation, and finally graduation. Each open source project must complete specific tasks at each stage. And our team provides various supports, such as building an open community. And this incubator brings together years of our open source experiences and practices, serving as a reflection of our team's collective expertise. It covers all aspects of open source, from community building, code quality, and compliance. In the next 3 years, we hope to leverage this incubator to support even more internal projects. Staying true to the build in public philosophy, we will share our progress through the events, through the talks, and open source some of our tools and documentations on GitHub. So we warmly welcome everyone to follow our journey and future developments. And that's the end of my today's talk. And welcome to follow us on Twitter. And here is my personal email address, my Twitter, and my LinkedIn. I hope to have more conversation with you off stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we have time for a quick question, if there's any. Okay, just a quick question for me while Roland gets set up. The ratio of contributors. So for your projects, what is the ratio? Do you keep track of how many contributors are internal and how many external from the Ant group repos for the projects? Do you know? Yeah, internal and external. How many contributors inside? How many contributors outside?
I'm not sure about the number. Actually, I think most of the contributors are internal developers now.
Yeah.
But many projects of our company are begin to go back to the community, and more external developers are engaged in our projects now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.